Alright you lot, welcome back. Last week we were promised a bigger reveal today. I mean, after all, last week we got those teaser images. We got a grot, we got something that I've immediately forgotten what it was, and we got a big gun of some kind. And that's all fine, that's all well and good. But they did say that there would be something chunkier on the way. By the way, I had no idea what those images actually added up to, and I don't know that my guesses were all that good, but a good chunk of you lot reckon Wazdak a Gutsmech. Now, if that's true, that is quality, and I'm 100% on board. So I guess we'd have to wait and see what those all add up to in the end. Now, though, we have something that I genuinely did not expect. We have a return. We have a lad coming back, and no, it's not another Titus miniature, and it's not another version of Calgar. Yarrick is back with an animation, which, I mean, I thought to myself, oh, okay, an animation, alright, fine. No, he's back in model form as well. Like, they've actually done the thing. So the animation is Armageddon related. It looks like that planet is in a bad way, a very bad way. And in fact, we did take a look at the trailer. Now, if it's in this video, it means it didn't get smashed by copyright. If it's not in this video, it'll be up for members and patrons as a separate thing. Look, I would love to be able to put anything Games Workshop does, sort of videography-wise, on the channel in some capacity, but it gets claimed every single time. It genuinely baffles me that other people seem to be able to just upload entire things from Games Workshop's streaming service, such as it is, in its borderline entirety and get away with it. But if I have 5 seconds of a trailer with the sound on, that's it. Straight to jail. Really weird. Anyway, hopefully there'll be a little clip of that there. But it looks genuinely very fun, and the introduction, or the reintroduction, of one Yarrick was absolutely solid. The fact is, though, he's got a miniature. He is properly back, and he looks absolutely solid. Like, I think that is a very, very good model. This genuinely is something of a surprise to me, because I kind of thought that they were done with the Yarrick character in a way. I didn't think they were going to do much else with him, even though he is extremely beloved and people have been wanting him back in some capacity, but he's not been around for a while, and I thought it might be one of those cases where they simply retire the character, he never shows up again, and much though people want him, he just doesn't make a comeback, which obviously is leaving money on the table for them, but the fact is they've had no issue getting rid of stuff that people like before. See, for instance, the almost entirety of the Firstborn Space Marines line, where a good chunk of it is just no longer available and probably never will be again. Now, Yarrick isn't the only thing making a comeback today, because I also want to talk to you about Holi. That's just water, but that's going to change now. See, I've made some changes in the new year that I'm still sticking to this day, which frankly is kind of miraculous. One of those changes is drinking way less fizzy stuff because it makes me feel gross, but I got very used to the idea of drinking God knows how many cans of it throughout each and every day. I've replaced all of that stuff with Holi, drinking either Holi Energy, iced tea or hydration. Making your drinks is super easy. You take your Holi shaker, you put 500ml of water plus some ice in there, and then you take either your tub or your sachet. For this I wanted some hydration, so I used my last strawberry and kiwi. It's so good. And then you pour the sachet or 1 scoop of the powder into your shaker, and then you give it a shake, immediately regretting putting ice in it for this demonstration because it probably sounds terrible down the microphone, but that is how you do it either way. To get started with Holi, you should check out the Starter Set Deluxe. You get a bunch of flavours, you get yourself a shaker, and everything is 0 sugar, less than £1 per serving, and less than 20 kcal per serving as well. Check out Holi using the link in the description down below, and use code KIRIOTH5 for £5 off your first order, and then KIRIOTH for 10% off your orders after that. Now let's get back to Yarrick, shall we? For me, this just looks absolutely fantastic. The detail is really, really nice. The folds on the coat are so good, and I love that bit of gold edging down the front there. Just that little touch, it just stands out in the right way, you know? And that insanely big Stormbolter is so fun. I know it's just a Stormbolter, right? But the scale of that weapon compared to the bloke holding it is genuinely quite funny to me. But the thing is, it's mainly funny because it feels like if he fired it, it would rip his own arm off. But then again, that's not really how bolters work, I don't think. I know there's a little bit of debate on this, but I'm pretty sure I've seen people say before that they shouldn't really have much in the way of recoil necessarily, due to the fact that the bolts are sort of rocket propelled in their own right. It seems complicated, and I'm not a gun person, but it looks like he would pull the trigger and his arm would fly off at the shoulder. But it definitely hasn't, because he does definitely shoot the hell out of people with it. So, you know, I was going to say pauldrons, but I think it's technically epaulets, isn't it? The ones that have got all the frogging hanging down off them. Those look really, really good. The bionic eye is fantastic. I think his expression is great. I think that's actually a really well sculpted face. He looks old, he looks haggard, he looks a bit drawn, but there is some of that sort of grim determination going on. It's the hollowness of the cheeks and the way the cheekbones are so pronounced. It just makes him look ancient as hell, which, you know, makes sense. I think they've done the face really well. Like, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, that is very well sculpted. Even down to, when you look at, like, his bottom lip, there's wrinkles around the bottom lip that have been done super nicely. Very, like, distinctive looking character, but they've properly nailed it, I think. That sash around the waist, the way that the cloth is blowing in the same direction as the coat, that's really nice. They have, to be fair, gotten a lot better with maintaining direction on cloth in recent years. There was this weird point a little while ago, well, a couple of years ago to be fair, where they would put cloth onto miniatures and, like, the coat would blow one way, but then there'd be a standard going the other way, and I feel like they've really honed in on, you've got to have the flow there or it looks a bit nonsensical. They've absolutely nailed it there. I think that works super well. The power claw is great. It's really good. And it feels like, or at least it seems like, we've got a bit of like servo assistance on the shoulder there. It looks like there's something supporting the weight a little bit. Now, if that's the case, that's absolutely rad, and I love it. Also, love the collar. The collar is so good. I just think this is really, really nice. The breastplate as well, or the cuirass, or whatever that bit is, that is so fun. The fact it's got the layers across it, there is something of like, it's not like ribcage about it, but there's just more visual interest there than it being plain, but it doesn't look super cluttered. This is the thing. There's a lot of ornamentation, right? You've got a bit right below the neck, like where the gorget is. You've got the breastplate itself. You've got that sash with the symbol in the middle. But that's quite a lot of imagery down the center line of the model. But I don't think it looks particularly busy because you've got these fairly plain sections either side. So, like, the coat is impressive, but the coat is just a coat. There's not really much going on with it to distract from the detail in the center, which I think is a really good call. I mean, the Stormbolter's got a bit of decoration on it as well. I keep forgetting what it's called. It's like laurels, isn't it? Like laurel wreath kind of thing. There's a bit of that going on with the Stormbolter too, but again, it doesn't look overly busy. It looks just right for someone of that sort of status, and it feels like, to be fair, they could go a bit further with it, but instead it's, I'm not going to say restrained, but also, it kind of does feel a little bit restrained. I love that he's got that massive power claw. He's also got the Stormbolter. Plus, it looks like he's got a las pistol as well. And he's got a sword. You know, you've got to make sure you've got plenty of options when killing orcs. You don't want to get bored with one, do you? You don't want to get bored with it. You want to be able to, you know, variety is the spice of life, all of that. I also really like how the power claw has got that power cable going into the, obviously, power pack. I've said the word power way too often now, and it's starting to lose all meaning. The fact that it's got that, but it actually looks well maintained. Like, the claw is, of course, orky as hell, but the thing feeding the power isn't orky. That's a little detail that I just really like. It's clearly being maintained, and it's clearly being powered by something that is not shitty orc technology. It's obviously having some level of care and attention put into it, even though it's scavenged orc equipment. Love that. Really like it. He is, of course, standing on a tactical rock, as is tradition, but I actually think the pose is kind of cool. The pose really, really works for him. Like, it just looks right. Also, the like leg supports, the knee supports on both legs, I like that as well. Nice little touch. You can see the sort of hinges on either side. Just little things hinting as to the sheer longevity of one Sebastian Yarrick, you know? Oh, I'm loving those alternate angles. Yeah, that power pack looks so good, and it having that supporting arm for the power claw, oh, I really like that. I really like it. I can't remember if he had something similar before. My gut feeling is that he didn't, but I can't quite remember. I need to look up his previous models. I mean, the first one obviously had the big crab claw as opposed to that style of power claw, but I don't know if he had that like supporting strut. Also, the way the power distribution is going out to like servos onto the shoulder part, but also going up and into the thing that goes into the bionic eye. That's really, really fun. I like that. That's very cool. Also, the way the strap is hanging down off the Stormbolter, I don't know why that's standing out as just being kind of neat, but it is kind of neat. It just is. The coat looks great from the back as well. The ripples in the material look super, super good. Oh, this is hitting all the right spots for me. Really is. The close-up on the face as well there, it just looks grand. I love that obnoxiously thick cable that is just rammed into the side of his head. It seems like such a horrific solution, but I mean, it looks brutal. It looks brutal, so it fits him super, super well. The posing on the power claw is nice as well, having one digit kind of higher up than the other. I always prefer that over the static thing, where they're level. I think it just shows that there's a bit more dexterity and a bit more like movement that they're capable of doing that. It just makes them look a bit more versatile than they otherwise should be, given that it's just three big old blades crunching together. Like, they're not power fists, they are designed for a bit of squish and snip as opposed to crush or punch, and I like when it's reflected that they do have a bit more dexterity going on. I like that they specify that he still carries a las pistol in a holster at his hip, the same weapon he uses to execute the cowardly, traitorous official in the animation. I mean, yeah, because I'm pretty sure if he'd shot the traitor with the Stormbolter, there would not have been like a nice clean shot through said official. He'd probably have exploded or something, right? Or at least been torn in half, or there'd be a cavernous, gaping wound where the upper torso once was. I do like they specified that, though, just in case you're wondering. That's how he killed the lad. And the lad deserved it. And there we go, we've got the comparison between the various the crab claw. It never gets old. Never gets old. It is kind of interesting to see how he became more reserved in the second version, and then the third one has stayed pretty true to that. Has stayed pretty true, but in some ways has actually become a little more reserved. So we don't have the tassels at the end of the sash there. We don't have the frogging that's hanging from the epaulet on the left-hand side. Yeah, left-hand side. Also, things like the Stormbolter, that laurel wreath was underneath the barrels, added quite a lot of mass to the underside of it, whereas on the new one, it's just a little decoration on the top. So in some ways, he has actually got, like, decorations-wise, he has got less sort of complex. But things like the power claw, that addition of the servos to enable him to keep using it despite being, I believe the technical phrase is old as fuck. That actually works pretty well. I do like that a lot. That along with the support for the knees, it just sort of helps the storytelling, doesn't it? Interestingly, they haven't made his face quite as gaunt as the second model. Like, he looks borderline corpse-like in that second one. But instead, I think it's just a case of, you know, the way they do these sculpts now, they can get away with a bit more detail and things don't have to be quite as exaggerated. So he does, in some ways, look a little bit healthier, but really only in the face. All the other kind of context clues say, yeah, he's getting on a bit, isn't he? We'll also apparently be learning more about Yarrick and the wider War for Armageddon very soon. So hopefully next Monday we're going to get some more of that. That'd be nice. I'd appreciate it. That'd be good. That'd be fun. I wanted to know what he's doing outside of, you know, shooting cowards. Because he's got to have a plan, right? Surely there's some sort of master plan, and presumably a specific enemy to clash with. It would make sense, wouldn't it? Anyway, that is the new Yarrick. Let me know what you think of him in the comments down below. Thank you again to Holi. Make sure to check them out using the link in the description and in the pinned comment. Let me know what you thought of all of that, and I will see you for the next one.